clear. If we want to reach net zero carbon emissions,
we can't do it on renewables alone. We need a clean and reliable energy source like nuclear power.
Transformation of the energy sector is crucial to reach our climate targets.
I'm confident that we need also nuclear energy as part of the solution.
Nuclear energy is low carbon, abundant, low priced energy.
Engineering students know it.
Scientists know it.
Radiation experts know it.
The next generation knows it.
World leaders know it.
I know it.
You know it. A net zero future needs nuclear power.
Esteemed ministers, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. My name is Sophie Bouteau-de-Lacombe. I'm the Director Communication for the IAEA, and I'm pleased to be your moderator for this high-level event. So first, let me give you a little summary of what the event will be about. We will first hear from our Director General about an announcement. And then following his statement, we will be joined in stage with high-level guests, and we will then have a conversation with those guests, and we will ask them questions. So with that in mind, let's proceed. And it is my great honor to give the floor to the International Atomic Energy Agency Director General, Rafael Mariano Grossi, to announce the IAEA Statement on nuclear power. Sir, you have the floor.
Merci, Sophie. Thank you very much. Well, dear friends, thank you for taking some time. We are all busy here at this COP with a number of activities, but if we invited you today to be here, it's because there is something important that is happening. And there's something important that is happening goes in reality beyond this stage and what I'm going to say. What is really important is that there is a realization that, in very simple terms, if we want to be where we want to be in terms of our climate targets, it will simply be impossible without nuclear energy. This is something, as some of the participants in this very nice video were saying, we all know, and perhaps I would even say we knew for a long time. But in the real world, things happen when the convergence of factors allow this to happen. And we are in a world, as this huge gathering is proving, where the problems related to climate change and global warming and all these things that are being talked about in the alleys and in the conference halls here in Dubai is a very real thing, which has been compounded by a very recent debate about energy security and the need to ensure and to guarantee for countries that they have the degrees of autonomy and the margins of maneuver that they want to provide for their economy. So at the IAEA, we thought that one paradoxical thing was happening. So how come that this annual gathering, this annual global conference talking about energy issues and how they impact the environment could be taken place in this way without referring to the energy that provides 30% of the clean electricity that is produced in the world, 30%. And when we go to certain regions like Europe, half of it. So this was an omission, and I'm not here to debate the reasons for that. The good thing is that this is being overcome and that we are putting things now in the right perspective. So what Sophie was referring to when she was mentioning an announcement, which is at this stage no secret, is the fact which is reflected there behind me, that for the first time, the countries, and there are many, more than 40, that currently use nuclear energy, benefit from nuclear energy, not only themselves, but the planet, because without it, we are talking about big economies that would be producing hundreds of tons of CO2. They, who were coming here and sometimes telling us, better not talk about nuclear at the COP, because I have to tell you, at least ever since I became a Director General, I was saying, we have to talk about nuclear at the COPs. We have to talk about nuclear at the COPs in the way we like to talk, in articulation, in integration, in cooperation. Because we have one problem which is common to all of us. And this is, of course, global warming and the climate change. The problem is not nuclear energy or solar energy or wind energy or whatever. The enemy, if you want, the adversary, formidable, that we have is that. And we, as any intelligent army would do, we have to use every single possible weapon we have to abate these very harmful emissions. And nuclear is so good about it. So at long last, these countries were able to say, yes, we are coming to buy, we are coming to the COP, and we are going to be saying so. We are going to be saying that we want to achieve sustainable economic development in a way that is environmentally sustainable, and for this, we use nuclear. We not only use nuclear, we are going to be using more nuclear. For the IAEA, this is not a commercial endeavor, obviously. We are there, as we were created, to ensure that atoms are for life, atoms are for peace, and in this case, that atoms are safely, securely used to this purpose. And also, because the effort is global, to make sure that many in developing countries, in Africa, in some parts of Asia, in Latin America, in the Caribbean, can also benefit from the same. So basically, this is the message that we wanted to share with you today. And this important statement on nuclear power, which is being announced today, is a confirmation of that. And we wanted to do it with countries with which we work very closely, like Kazakhstan, like Finland, with different perspectives, can bring to the table. And Armenia, the president of Armenia is on his way. We know how difficult it may be for those who have been walking around to get from one place to the other. So when he comes, we will recognize him. So this is my message today. The road is open ahead of us, and partners, old, present, and new, know that they can always count on the IAEA to get there. Thank you very much.
Come here. So thank you, DG Grossi, for presenting your vision of the IAEA statement. And indeed, science play a key role and is very clear on the need of nuclear to reach net zero. We will now play a video of the statement so you can hear every word of it and their power. Thank you.
Achieving sustainable economic development and averting the devastating consequences of unchecked climate change will require making use of all low-carbon energy sources, including nuclear power. Studies confirm that the goal of global net zero carbon emissions can only be reached by 2050 with swift, sustained, and significant investment in nuclear energy. The International Atomic Energy Agency and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change see nuclear as important part of the solution to climate change and energy insecurity. Since the beginning of the 21st century, nuclear power has avoided the release of some 30 gigatons of greenhouse gases. Today, It provides a quarter of the world's clean electricity and contributes to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Resilient and robust nuclear power has the potential to play a wider role in the quest towards net zero carbon emissions, while ensuring the highest level of nuclear safety and security. It can help to decarbonize district heating, desalination, industry processes, and hydrogen production. Nuclear power emits no greenhouse gases when it is produced and contributes to energy security and the stability of the power grid, while facilitating the broader uptake of solar and wind power. Locally, it cuts air pollution, which is one of today's biggest public health crises, causing the death of 8 million people a year. The responsible advancement of innovative technologies, including small modular reactors, aim to make nuclear power easier to build, more flexible to deploy, and more affordable, which is of particular importance to developing countries. To build a low-carbon bridge to the future will require that we keep the operating nuclear power plants serving us today. Continuous plant life management and refurbishment ensure the ongoing safety and reliability of our existing fleet, allowing it to provide decarbonized energy to the electric grid and other sectors. On the occasion of the 28th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, hosted by the government of the United Arab Emirates, the IAEA and its member states that are nuclear energy producers and those working with the IAEA to promote the benefits of peaceful uses of nuclear energy acknowledge that all available low-emission technologies should be recognized and actively supported. Net zero needs nuclear power.
I invite you to scan the QR code on the statement that is just here on the right of the stage, so you can take more time to, appreciate how important it is. Now it's time for me to introduce and invite to the stage our esteemed guests. We will be joined a little later with also the President of the Republic of Armenia. But before that, I would like to invite to the stage the esteemed Satkaliev Halmasadan, Minister of Energy of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Mr., please. And please welcome also to the stage Juhani Damski, who is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Environment of Finland. So each of our guests today are here as representative of their country, and they have supported the statement. So we want to hear a bit more from them on the reason why. So we are greatly looking forward, sirs, on hearing from you. Now, I would like to ask a first question to you, Minister Halmasadan. So I would like to ask you if Kazakhstan, being the world's largest producer of uranium and hosting the LEU Bank, the Low Enriched Uranium Bank, which is the physical reserve for LEU for eligible member states on the IAEA. So what is the specific reason that motivated your country to support the IAEA statement? And as you consider the reintroduction of nuclear power, how do you forecast the benefits for your country?
Thank you very much for the question. Your Excellency, Mr. Grossi, distinguished guests, first of all, let me express my sincere gratitude for opportunity to take part in this very significant event. Actually, we strongly believe that net zero needs nuclear power. The theme of discussion is extremely relevant for our country. You're absolutely right, ranked #1 supplier of uranium production to the global market. We have unique experience in operating medium-sized nuclear power plants on fast neutrons in the past, also under support of IAEA and your personal contribution, Mr. Grossi. We've made successfully conversion of our small research reactors to low-enriched fuel. We are first in the region of Central Asia, launched and finished construction of plant for producing and assembling units, and 2 years ago started export it to the global market. We understand that with more than 60% of generation powered by coal, we see no other significant alternative than nuclear power plants to ensure reliable energy supplies. The global programs like FIRST and Phoenix in these perspectives are very important, and we see a great potential for Kazakhstan. We are considering the possibility of developing safe and environmentally friendly nuclear energy as a part of developing uranium industry, considering time-tested reactors installations with high power. We are also interested in technology of small modular reactors as a perspective area for future development. In order to approve the government's initiative on the nuclear strategy, in the Republic of Kazakhstan, a national referendum will be held following the initiative of our president. We believe that this approach will ensure long-term stability for our plants and get strong support from society. We strongly believe that low-carbon atomic energy based on highly innovative solutions, time-tested experience, the most effective way to the global community to achieve the goals of carbon neutrality, a stable and safe power supply, sustainable development. Thank you. That's briefly our vision and why we decided to follow with this initiative, which we believe give to the civilization a chance to use clean nuclear electricity for solve all the challenges and problems which we're facing because of climate change. We see the nuclear energy as a source for electrification of the transport, as a solving problem of water supply, solving problems with cooling or heating for humanity, because we understand that not only anthropologic factors relate to climate change, but also fatal and natural one. Thank you.
Very clear.
Thank you, Minister Halmasadam. And now I would like to ask you, esteemed Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Environment of Finland, why your country is supporting the IAEA Statement, given that Finland has the highest public acceptance in the world. So if you want to share with the people here, and we have newcomers who are interested of your best practice, so what can be taken as an example from Finland?
First of all, thank you very much for having me here, Your Excellencies, Director General. It's such a pleasure to be here. Well, Finland, as you said, has the very high acceptance of nuclear power, and there are several reasons. Perhaps I can get back to those later on. But we feel that the societal license that we get from this acceptance rate is one of the key things down here. Of course, we've been always a strong advocate for IAEA. The work that IAEA is working on and how it's calibrating all of us is such an important thing. And this is also, I guess, part of the success story, if you like. And it's also clear that now that we have to battle the climate issues, triple planetary crisis. It was very nicely summarized in the video and also on your opening speech, Mr. Director General. I think that the battle with decarbonizationing climate especially is something where nuclear energy has a very key role to play. And this is also, as was stated there, a message from the science. We firmly support the IAEA statement on the nuclear power here at the COP28. So thank you very much for having. Perhaps I come back to the some of the data that I have. Thank you.
Yes, no, on the acceptance.
Yes. Well, there are several reasons. There are no silver bullet for Finland to have the high acceptance rate. But I think that, first of all, it all starts with transparency. Transparency has to be there in order to get the societal license, and this is my first point, perhaps. My second point is that we need to have responsible operators. And perhaps I...
yes, maybe we welcome the President of the Republic of Armenia with us.
Thank you very much. How are you, sir?
Thank you, fine. How are you?
Welcome. Very good to see you. Very good to see you. The
Hello,
State
sir.
Secretary of Finland,
Yeah, nice to meet
Minister
you.
of Energy of Kazakhstan. Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. President, thank you for being with us.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Yes.
So, before I give you the floor, sir, let's finish with public acceptance of nuclear in Finland.
Yes, I was talking about transparency and responsible operators. My third point would have been strong regulatory authority.
Yeah.
We need one. I have a list here. One here is about the policy making. We need to have an involvement of the policymakers, especially the parliament. So that is something that has to be taken on board in the very beginning of the process. Then there is a local level. You have to take care of the local level, and this is also part of the social acceptance, but also it is a legal matter. And finally, there is a waste problem that has to be solved, and this is something that the general public in Finland quite often they ask, and we know that in Finland we have a solution for that as well. So there is a strong one. But finally, perhaps to conclude this list of non-silver bullets, but solutions that we found in Finland, is the decarbonizing. This is a strong tool for climate battle, and this is why it is very important also for us in Finland, but also globally. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Damski, Vice Minister Damski. President, I'm so honored to have you with us today on our stage. So, President Khachaturian, why is it important for your country to support the IAEA statement on nuclear power? Tell us a little more about that.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very important question for us personally, for Armenia, because we have an interesting experience that I think it'll be very interesting for all of you listen about some short history about our nuclear energies. But because how many years? It was built in the middle of 70s during Soviet Union. And we stopped work our nuclear station after earthquake. It was in 1989. And I think it is one of the first country that decided to reopen the nuclear station. It was in 1995. Yes, I don't know. Maybe other countries remember. You can remember, but it's really in that time. It was the first experience that closed atom and nuclear station was opened, and until now it's working. And thus now we decided continues by the help of your agency continue his work using power of the nuclear station until 2026 and continue 2036, and we thinking and now consulting about constructing new nuclear station.
Yes.
And after discussion with you, when we last time met with you, we continue working with, beginning working with Korea and our colleagues about the nuclear station. We now now have a discussion with USA specialists about Russian specialists. We decided with until now we doesn't know what is the model of nuclear station we will constructing, but really the role of nuclear station for Armenia energy sector is very important. At about 25-30% of energy power is take with nuclear station. It really, I know, because in that time, I mean in 90s, I was the mayor of the capital of Yerevan. And during 2 years, we live without light, without gas, without energy. I know what is it, and our population know what is it. But after 1995, when our nuclear station is opened, everybody changed our life. Our economy increased, our problem is energy, without problem. And really, I am very appreciative and very happy that now nuclear station is beginning green energy. Indeed. It's very important for all of us because in Armenia we had until now discussion: is it energy have a nuclear station or not? It's very important for all of the, not only specialists, but the population too. But now everybody's understand that really without nuclear station we can't chance develop, and we can't chance thinking about the future of economy and our life. And thank you again, Mr. Grossi, for your visit to Armenia last year, and really we discussing a lot of things. And you personally was in our nuclear station. You say to me that everything is good. It's really it's a normal situation in our nuclear station. It's working, and we can continue. It's very important for us, and we need your support. And I hope that your supporting is continue, and we will work together about and thinking about the new nuclear energies, nuclear plants. And I want to ask you that we very hard work about new, not only nuclear station, we're talking about new solar energy power, and now it's it's 15% of our energy power is solar energy. 25% is nuclear, 50% is solar. Hydro is, I think it's 15 or 20%, and other is thermo stations. And we need to change all of this situation because in 2030 we decided renewable energy part became for Armenia 50%, in 2040 60%, and I think it's very important for not only for Armenia. I think it's very important for all of in the region and for all of us population of the world. And I think enough.
No, thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, President Khaturian. And Director General Grossi, I'm coming back to you. We have heard from our honorable guest now why they are supporting the IAEA statement, but tell us a bit more about this last line: net zero needs nuclear power. So what are you committing to do today with that launch of a statement? What is the next step? We see that there is increasing recognition of nuclear power and its role in the clean energy transition. So how is the IAEA keeping awareness of the nuclear role, and what is the call for action?
Well, actually, what we heard now from the President, from the Minister, from the State Secretary, allows me to illustrate how we work in different configurations, because this is what we need to do. In the case of Finland, we accompany a program that is moving fast forward, I would say, where the cooperation has a different dimension that it may have in cases like the Republic of Armenia or Kazakhstan. When it comes to you, Mr. President, I visited you. You remember we had very good meetings. I went to Metsamor, I went to the plant, and I also met with the full community, energy community, nuclear community, and here it is about making sure that in this transitional period, where we still need the current nuclear power plant, we provide the country with the necessary support, especially when it comes to the safety of the operation of the plant, that it needs to continue giving the energy that the country needs, while in time you deal with potential vendors, you talk to different countries, and you can come in line with the successor to mix.The. So this is a clear example of how the agency can work in the extension of the life of a facility that has had ups and downs, but we have to do it in a very safe way. So that is one example, and I have to recognize the commitment of the President, the Prime Minister, the government of Armenia to nuclear safety. This is very important because, of course, with an old nuclear power plant, people, the society, and we were talking this issue of the social license that you were talking about. We have the regulator's license, but there is a license that is out there, and you as a politician, you know it. The people, how do the people feel about it? Are the people afraid of it? Are the people confident that things are being done in the right way? And so I need to, and I want to commend you for that commitment to continue working with us, to follow our advice, and you know you can always count on us. Kazakhstan is a country, and we have discussed in Vienna and also in Astana. When we look at the country, it's a country that does not have nuclear power, but it is a very nuclear country at the same time, because from the time of the Soviet Union and your now independent republics, you were once part of that. And in the case of Kazakhstan, the leading producer of uranium, which is being exported to many countries that have nuclear programs. It also generously hosts the low enriched uranium bank that the agency has in case that there is an emergency of supply for one country or the other. So here the basic infrastructure is in place, and we need to, and if they so wish, to advise them, support them in the choice of a partner, a commercial partner, a technical partner for your first nuclear power plant. And then there is the case, and here I think in the audience I have my Ghanaian friends and others. We have the countries that also want to benefit from nuclear power, and these countries need to be accompanied. And this is what we are doing. And let me say that the fact that we are here in the United Arab Emirates gives me also a very, very nice example, perhaps one of the most impressive that I could describe to you, which is the fact that in this country that 15 years ago had no nuclear at all, nothing, no experience, no infrastructure, no national regulator, nothing. And now they have 4 nuclear power plants, 4, Baraka, which are being operated successfully and are providing a quarter of the energy that we are using now in this country. And they did it hand in hand with the IAEA. We have something that is called the milestones, and the milestones is like a user's guide that we have when we guide countries from the moment they take a decision, and even before, how do you take an informed decision? What do you have to look at? And then step by step. So, Sophie, these are a few examples of how with a variable geometry, if you want, we, the IAEA, can help everybody when they want to have nuclear energy.
Thank you very much, Director General Grossi. Before we finish, is there any media in the room? I don't see any hand raised. So maybe that's an opportunity to have some question from the public then. Would there be any question before we close? Sir, so there is a microphone that will be brought to you. Please present yourself before asking your question and address it to someone in particular, please.
I will. Thank you so much. First, thanks to the panel for excellent presentation. My name is Hash Hashemian. I'm president of a company called AMS in the United States. So this is actually for the panel. What is the view of this panel on the new generation of reactors, and what are you doing in your countries to implement a program for bringing the small modular reactors and advanced nuclear power plants? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. President Khachaturian, if you want to answer with the microphone.
Yes, thank you. We have discussions with Americans about this new generation of nuclear station. And I don't know what will be end, but it's very interesting, these new models, because our old models, we can explanations in the end of 36 maximum or 26. But we're thinking about it. But we very cooperate working with energy agency, and really by your advice, by the specialist, advice of many specialists, we can maybe 2 or 3 years after 2 or 3 years, we can agree with this, decided what is the models we can use in the future. But I want to ask you that, one again, we closely work with agency from 1994. In that time when we decided to reopen our nuclear station, only by your supported. I remember that time because it was very, first of all, when we decided, for example, reopen the nuclear station, it was very strange for all of specialists, all of the officials. But when we met with head of, in that time, I forget the name.
Hans Blix.
Yes. Our president met with them, and then he said, we are ready. Let's go do it. Because when he saw the situation, energy situation in Armenia, he understand that it's really, we need to something change the situation. And the change situation, we just can reopen our nuclear station. And we really won't open, maybe, I don't know, same power. It's a power of our nuclear station is 400 megawatts.
Yeah.
It's and now we're thinking about maybe we can reopen some of new models by 10 or 25. I don't know what is the experience. It's good for us. Now I ask you, I repeat you, we're working with Korean specialists, we work with Russian specialists, we work with American specialists. I don't know what will be technology in the future. Maybe they can show the new models of new ideas. We can use it. But I know that for Armenians, it's very important, nuclear energy, and I am very happy that really new nuclear energy now is one of the green energy parts.
Yep.
And it's very important for all of us that it's a chance using the nuclear energy for our interest, and we need supporting and help our Kazakhstan colleagues, because you need uranium, and we now trying to buy something, I don't know, maybe from Kazakhstan, from the other places, because before there we just buying from Rosatom. I think it's no correct way that we have only one buyer or supplier. We need diversification. It's other way really. With Kazakhstan, haven't nuclear station, but Kazakhstan is really a nuclear country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Khachaturian. And now, Minister Halmasadan, what about SMRs in Kazakhstan?
In Kazakhstan, we started an official procedure for choosing potential vendor to construction nuclear power plant in Kazakhstan. We already shortlisted 4 companies from China, Russia, Korea, and France. And in addition to this shortlisted company, we consider it too promising from our perspective technologies for small modular, NuScale, and G. And actually, we understand all the benefits related to using small modular because of integration to the grid, operational issues, and for us it's very important to continue consultations with our partners. We are in very tight contact with GE. We are also discovering possibility to proceed investigation of these technologies with EDF, with Rosatom as well, and we believe in this technology in the future as a part of effective solution to solve energy shortage. Talking to point which was raised, Excellency President of Armenia, we are ready to supply our products. We producing tablets. We started produce assembling units, and we are ready to continue discussions on mutually beneficial basis. Thank you.
Fastest nuclear deal
ever.
Thank you, Minister Halmasadan. Vice Minister Adamski, what about Finland and SMRs?
Well, let me start with the climate. In Finland, we have a climate act that states that Finland should be carbon neutral by 2035. And it's quite clear that in our critical path that direction, and soon after that, we are supposed to be carbon negative. And we need SMRs in order to get there. And this has been identified as a critical strategic thing by a number of, especially municipalities that want to become carbon neutral as well. And they are really part of the business planning also when we are talking about green transition or clean energy transition, where like in the video that we saw, the hydrogen value chain critically needs that sort of carbon-free, fossil-free energy. So they are identified as a strategic asset, and the plans are, we are making plans, and on a government level, we are just started to do our next level energy climate strategy. So we are combining those two. So those are in our portfolio of our toolbox for becoming carbon negative after 2035.
That's very ambitious, and we will follow up very closely. Thank you, Vice Minister Adamski. Director General, there is an initiative at the agency because we know there is more than 80 design of SMRs. So from a safety and security point of view, there is a need of standardization and harmonization. What can you share with us today about this?
Indeed, for any new technology to flourish and to be successful, this is not going to happen out of the blue skies. There are certain things that will need to happen. Of course, some of them belong to the vendors, to the developers, to those who are creating the technology and bringing it together. But we all know that for this there has to be an environment that facilitates their deployment. And this environment has to do with the way in which industry will be working. As you have seen, these two neighboring countries are talking to a diversity of vendors. And there is a realization that when it comes to small and modular reactors, given the nature of the technology, there are, to a certain degree, and of course respecting the normal competition that may exist or not, there are certain levels of standardization and regulatory harmonization that need to happen so that these reactors that in a certain sense you are going to be, I'm exaggerating a little bit, that you are going to be taking out of the rack as opposed to the big projects where you build from zero and you go through a very meticulous licensing process that looks into different aspects. Here we are talking, and the President was mentioning it when you were talking about the 20 mega or 15 mega. These are modules that you add up to have an SMR. So it is clear that we will need to adapt, that we will need to adjust to a new way of doing nuclear energy. And the agency is, of course, working as it should be, because we are everybody's home, everybody's house. We are working with all the vendors, with the countries, with the regulators to make sure that we go into this thing in a logical way.
Thank you very much, Director General Grossi. We are coming now to the end of the time allowed for us. There is another event coming after on fusion. But before we leave everyone, I would like to thank very much our honorable guests. President Shatla Touran, thank you so much for being with us. Minister Salma, thank you so much also, Salma Shadan, thank you for being here, and Vice Minister Damski also. I would like you all here present to pass the word of the IAEA statement. Don't forget to take the QR code and to share the vision. We also having our pavilion, the Atoms for Climate Pavilion, just one step down. And we wish you a very nice day. Thank you very much.
We have a photo?
Yes.
Mr. President.
Net zero future needs nuclear power.
The science is clear. If we want to reach net zero carbon emissions,
we can't do it on renewables alone. We need a clean and reliable energy source like nuclear power.
Transformation of the